Attention is the most important cognitive function. It is a mental energy for cognitive processing and cognitive functions for mental states. And it's a conscious state, so people just aware. And as I explained, sensitivity, that attention is a cognitive function and very critical one. However, without conscious with conscious, consciously and unconsciously, we take attention as a behavior. So that means when we say attention is a behavior, that means a child can manage it. If a child wants, and then they can be attentive. So that's very tricky part as a cognitive function and as a behavior, how we see children's attention. And we all know children are not attentive to teachers' teaching. There is no learning takes place. Right? We know that. And these attention, we have 4 different types of attention. Number 1 is a selective attention. So that selective attention is we are just paying attention to the meaningful information with filtering out all meaningless information. So when we search something, we have a target object we are searching, and then we can identify and then just catch that one. So that's a selective attention, and or we cannot survive, and children cannot survive. And oversensitivity, we talked about oversensitivity, and pretty much this selective attention is really work for that sensitivity. And if children do not have this filtering system, that means selective attention, and they are very overwhelmed with all those just sensory inputs. They feel like they are pouring in, and they just could not handle. And then we have sustained attention. This is sustained attention is attention span, and teachers complains about children's short attention span. And these days, children play with a very quick move of video games and media, and really make children's sustained attention very weak. And then we have a divided attention. Divided attention is a multitasking attention. So while you're doing this, you can do this. So it's like both work and triple work together. It does not have to be just the same amount, same depth, and same width of attentions. However, it could be just measure this one, but you do just about 20% in something else. While you're talking on the phone, you're preparing your dinner, or while your eyes are doing this and your ears and do different work, and then that kind of divided attention you can use. And teachers really overlapping teachers, Queen's overlapping teachers means these teachers can do multi-work together, and then it is really necessary, important skills. And then we have alternating attention. Alternating attention is just switching attention. So it's more like a cognitive flexibility. So while you're doing, and then something important, inputs, and then you switch your attention. So when children has weak cognitive flexibility and alternating attentions, and they have a great difficulties with transition. So they really focus on this, obsessive about this, and then they are pulled out to the different tasks, and then they just resist, about those parts. And then we have a focused attention. Attention itself is a focus. So we just reversely we use attention or focus. However, focused attention is really like a depth of attention. So let's say if we say attention as a width and depth, and then pretty much a focused attention is like a depth of attention, so attention intensity, right? So if it's too intensive, and then your width could be narrow. So you focus work, it's like a OCD types of obsessive focus. And then children pretty much don't hear or don't see outside, and they don't know what's going on around. That is a focused attention, could be. So focused attention and divided attention, alternating attention should be smoothly, it should be exchanged, changeable, and children can utilize. Or it's too much focus and then really limit their other inputs, and then it impact their learning and then life, and then especially safety. And if children's attention is too broad, so with why that we call it very distractible child, in a little bit it's just sound, they just turn around, and then their focus is very shallow, and then they cannot focus on their work, and then work completion is very rare and weak. So they constantly have an incomplete work. So either one could have a problem. So that's attention, and this attention is obviously a very precursory factors for children's learning. And with attention as a mental power, mental energy, we consider attention like that. And then no attention means if children have no attention, that means no information processing and no learning, right? And then weak attention means weak learning. So it's because we say attention is a mental power, if we mental energy and mental power, and then we say weak attention, children have a weak attention and then weak focus, that means weak learning, and learning outcome is very weak. And then inconsistent attention means their learning is very irregular learning outcomes. And then solid attention means sustained and steady learning outcomes they would have. And strong attention means strong mental power for enriched learning. And then selective attention means filtering only meaningful information. So they receive only meaningful information and filtering out meaningless information. And then divided attention means split the focus for multiple on task process. And alternating attention means cognitive flexibility and switching attention to another inputs. So these are all about the attention. Again, 5 attention types is a selective, sustained, divided, focused, and alternating attention. And then as attention as a mental power, I said no attention, weak attention, inconsistent attention, solid attention, strong attention. It will make a different your learning outcomes and just a work amount and then completion, and these are related to that's work and learning. Okay, so don't got confused between these 5 types of attention. These are the different types of attention. These, attention intensity, attention power, and weakness and strengths and solid attention. That's all just it meant about this focused attention, sustained attention, and these based on this amount, and then learning outcomes and work completion could be different, impacted. Okay, that's about the attention.